Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today we are getting into the patch updates for the week. We have a new banner for Yuffie, which honestly I think is looking pretty freaking cool. But before we get into that today, Square Enix actually sent me something in the mail, and I figured that I would, well, actually I opened it to check just to see that they didn't send me any like we hate you stuff, but I'm gonna like pretend that I didn't open it and show you guys right here. It's not crazy, but it is cool, so thank you to everyone at Square Enix who sent me something. That's really cool. And as you guys can see, it is stuff for the Ever Crisis Academy, but I think because it's so hard to find me in the world and where I live, this didn't get to me during the Academy event. So it is pretty cool. If you guys can see, I'm not exactly sure if it's there, but let's open it up. It looks like some type of like school stuff. Oh my god, please tell me these are fake tattoos. Oh no, they're stickers. Alright, so we got some stickers right here from everyone from the Academy, which is pretty sweet. Honestly, if anyone's out there at Square Enix, like, I'd totally love some stuff from Dragon Quest too. That'd be super sick. But here we go. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Then we also have, oh, these look pretty interesting. Not exactly sure. These are like some type of pouches, or not pouches, oh my gosh, what do you even call these things? I'm totally blanking. You like iron them onto something? A patch. I think it's a patch. Excuse my lack of English here. It's a patch? Alright, sorry. My wife had to correct me there for a second. I'm going to try and open these without having to get up and get a knife, which is looking pretty difficult at this moment. Alright, should have probably been more prepared, but it is what it is, guys. There's no going back. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so we got a couple patches here. I think this one says Shinra? I don't even know actually what this one says. Here you guys see. I don't think it is Shinra, to be honest. And then we have some other thing right here, which is another patch with 2 wings on it, so also pretty cool. So yeah, I'm actually pretty psyched on getting these. I'm not exactly sure how to apply these, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So yeah, thank you to everyone at Square Enix for sending me some cool stuff and hyping Ever Crisis Academy. Alright, so that being said, guys, let's get into what dropped today. Alright, actually quickly before I get into this, we have 2 guilds, I believe, recruiting right now. So I believe Shiva and Ifrit. Ifrit is like a top 100 casual guild, and I believe Shiva was in the top 30 last time around. I think each guild is looking for 1 to 2 players. So if you are looking for a guild in that type of, you know, competitive bracket, then check out our Discord. There's a link in the description of this video, and then jump in there and we'll help you get sorted. Alright, so let's check out everything new today. So we got the Final Fantasy VI rerun, which is pretty sweet. Curious to see how everything was updated. Alright, so let's just start where we are right here. By the way, guys, the update on Monday was that guild ranking guild battle number 12 is coming soon. It's going to be Magic Ice. So it is coming. It feels a lot sooner than it normally would just because the other one got pushed back, but it is what it is. Alright, so let's see here. Final Fantasy VI crossover Reawaken campaign on now. Alright, daily free draw up to 140 draws. Okay, those aren't as exciting as they used to be. Log in to get custom box Final Fantasy VI crossover Reawaken ×3. Alright, cool. Mithril Ingot ×5 and Mako Gem 11 million download ×10 every week. Alright. Clear all panel missions to obtain Mithril Ingot ×10, weapon parts voucher ×100. That's awesome. And more. Okay, so that's really cool. I love me some rainbow weapon parts. What else do we have here? Event Final Fantasy VI crossover Reawakened Cackling Court Mage Kefka on now. It's always a mouthful with the names, but they do love them. Alright, so here we have Cyan's Blade. Cyan's Blade. Our ability, boost HP. So this one's pretty cool. I think these are just reruns right here, actually, of the previous event weapons. So as far as I'm seeing, nothing new. We have this crossover limited materia substats. I didn't think that these crossover materials were honestly that great at the time, unless they've upgraded them, which would be awesome. I just think the potency on them was like capped pretty low. So maybe they are better this time around. So hopefully we'll see. So let's see here. Escalation Challenge Kefka. So for all of you guys who remember the EX3 Kefka fight, this was a pretty challenging fight, I would say. So I'm curious how the escalation is going to pan out for Kefka. I bet it's going to be pretty fun, though, overall. The escalation challenge is only for solo. All right, we already know that. All right, so let's keep going up. All right, so here it is. Yuffie's new weapon feature draw on now. And, you know, something we've been talking about with the guild lately is just, like, how the weapons, like, once Glenn came out with that Viking costume, Pirate, I just feel like all the costumes have been so good. So hats off to Applebot, or it feels like they got rid of someone and brought someone else on. I don't know, maybe they did. But the costumes have been dope, and this one is no exception. Alright, so the new weapon here, Rocker's Guitar. Command ability 4 ATB cost, Freezing Riff. Inflicts up to 600% ice magic damage upon a single enemy. Boosts command gauge by 20%. Plus, grants all allies exploit weakness when caster's HP is 50% or more. Alright, so we have full-on AoE exploit weakness right here, which feels insane on a non-limited banner. There's a lot of things I think to consider when it comes to this weapon, but it looks very, very good so far. This is Yuffie's second exploit weakness weapon. I believe the other one was the Final Fantasy Rebirth collab on the water weapon. That was physical though. This one is a magic weapon. So she's the first character to have both a physical and magic weapon when it comes to exploit weakness, which is interesting, and I'm wondering, you know, how necessary that is going to be. But I guess when you're stacking our abilities, probably going to be pretty important. Alright, so we have the rocker outfit right here. Not gonna lie, one of my favorites, if not my favorite, Yuffie outfit. The Nanaki Mantle outfit is also absolutely stellar, 10 out of 10. But this one I think is really great too. We'll take a look at it at the end of this video. Our ability, Physical and Magic Ward. Then we have Frost Spell, Arcanum, HP+. Boosts HP and Ice ability damage. Also boosts Magic ability damage when attack stance command gauge is at max. So very good. The nice thing about the Nanaki Mantle is that it's an Arcanum, but it can be physical or magic. So I'm not necessarily sure if you for sure need this costume if you have that other one. I know that, like, as we get closer to Dragon Quest and the anniversary for Ever Crisis, it becomes increasingly harder to spend crystals, right? Because everyone's trying to save. The last thing you want is to get to the anniversary and have no crystals to spend, right? And Dragon Quest is going to absolutely do its best. It's going to try its best to deplete everyone of crystals. And you can see all these costumes, these banners. They're awesome. They're really, really, really trying hard right now. So it's going to take some consideration, I think, to like really figure this out. But I think that like this weapon is 100% an absolute wish list weapon, no matter what. Like whether you pull in the banner or not, this weapon is something that everyone is going to want to wish list over time. And then, you know, obviously something that's going to be relevant for the coming Guild War, which is in a week, which is supposed to be weak to Magic Ice. So we haven't got a DPS character for that. Hopefully it could be next week. But we'll have to see. Alright, and then we have the Gladius right here, so Matt's ultimate weapon, which I absolutely, totally wish that I had. I know a lot of people are saying, I know that you're going to pull on the Matt Limit Break banner, and I really want to, guys. I really, really want to. The problem is that if I get his Limit Break banner costume weapon, but I don't get the ultimate weapon, that's a tough pill for me to swallow. So I really only want to do 8 pulls this month to get the guaranteed red 13 pilot jacket, but it's hard to say what to do, guys. It just gets trickier and trickier as you get closer. All right, so let's go back here to the notices. All right, Final Fantasy VI crossover reawaken draw on now. All right, so hopefully we'll see some upgrades here. All right, inflicts up to. All right, so the Lock Sword got an upgrade. All right, so ATB cost is now 3, which is great. Which I think it should have been at the beginning. Now it drastically increases fire, ice, and lightning damage, so it will go too high on the first cast now, which is something that I think everyone wanted for this sword. But I think this sword is like a little bit late to the party now with all the other, you know, offhands that DPSs are getting. Exploit weakness, enfeeble, stuff like that, especially when parties you know, like AoE elemental potency buffs are becoming more relevant, and in more relevancy in supports and healers, right? So realistically, Cloud would be getting Fire, Ice, or Lightning potency buffed by someone else in the team and not necessarily need to have this equip, then you know, replace it with something that gives Enfeeble or exploit weakness or something like that. So it is nice to see the upgrade for sure, but like how relevant this weapon actually is in the current game, you know, it depends. Like if you don't have one of those other weapons, then maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. I have this weapon actually, so alright, this weapon I don't have. Here we have the Sabin's Claws, Aura Cannon. Inflicts up to 800% physical non-elemental damage upon all enemies, plus increases caster's physical and magic attack, and inflicts additional non-elemental. Okay, so I thought this already did this. I'm trying to see where it's up to. Okay, so ATB3 drastically increased. So plus increases caster's physical magic attack. I thought this weapon did this originally, but I didn't pull for it, so correct me if I'm wrong. Then we have the Terra's Rod, which was not upgraded at all. This was just already too good, guys. And then we have Edgar's Coiled Blade for Sephiroth, which it looks like was also not increased. I'm guessing their costumes got a boost instead. I'm not really sure. But then again, here Cloud got an upgrade to the weapon and the costume. So physical magic ward from 10 to 15 points. Same with Tifa. Same with Aerith, and same with Sephiroth. So some weapons got more of a buff than others, but it is nice to see, you know, this rerun. And for all the people that have already pulled on this and you just get the free buffs on all the weapons, I think that's freaking awesome. Alright, so here we have Final Fantasy VI Crossover Reawakened special draw on now. Alright, curious to see how they're doing this one. Weapons included in the lottery box are these 4 weapons. This is like a paid little, what is this called? Just like a special draw. Alright, so let's go to the shop. Alright, so let's check out the new shop right here. Alright, so it does look like we have, do we have an actual Yuffie shop for her banner? It doesn't actually look like it. Alright, so we do have a crossover shop right here in a 11 million download celebration volume 2. So this one's just for Matt. Curious, there isn't actually one for Yuffie here. And then we have, let's see here, the standard 2,500 for tickets. We have a 5-star ticket and 10 character select tickets for Aerith, Sephiroth, Cloud, Tifa, Yuffie. And then we have crossover packs right here. Wow, for a bunch of characters as well. That's actually pretty rare. Aerith, Sephiroth, Cloud, Tifa, and Yuffie all in one. This is actually a nice shop. I mean, it's nothing outside the crazy ordinary, but it is. Wow, it just keeps on going. Alright, well, that's actually pretty interesting to see. So, yeah, these are actually, I like these tickets a lot, but honestly, I've been picking them up less and less lately. But, alright, so let's go away from the shop. Let's go check out the other limited stuff right here, or the actual banner. Alright, so I want to check out Yuffie. Let's take just a quick look at the crossover banner, just to see what the stamps look like over here. Alright, where are we right here? Okay, so we got 2 guaranteed weapons on the first page. You have a costume on the first page, and then you have more weapons on the second page. So I'll talk a little bit about this in my to pull or not to pull video for Yuffie. But until then, let's check out Yuffie. Alright, so here we go. Guys, I mean, come on. This looks awesome. She looks awesome, guys. I love the jacket. I love the vibe. Everything about her is just like rocking right now. Excuse the pun. And then she's got the freaking guitar, and it's like, you know, J-Ro is making a joke about this. Like, Yuffie's getting everything in her arsenal you could ever imagine as her shuriken right now. It's like she, in a year from now, she'll be throwing like red pandas or whatever, anything. Like, everything in existence will have been conjured into a shuriken for Yuffie by the time this game is over. And the guitar itself is pretty interesting. It looks like it's got like a blade right here on the outside. And so I guess it makes sense that she would throw it, however much sense that makes. She does have her handle right here, which interrupts the strings. So I'm not sure that Yuffie is doing anything more with this other than throwing it and playing air guitar, but it is a kind of a cool concept right here, how the handle actually comes out of the guitar itself. I think that's actually pretty cool. Honestly, this whole costume for me, guys, 11 out of 10. It's so good. I love this costume. So, man, I would really love to get this costume as well. But I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to see what the next banner is, guys. It's so close to the Dragon Quest that it's like it's hard to like pull the trigger on something on the opening day, especially when you have time. So, but man, this is a great costume. All right, and then we have the physical magic ward. So physical magic defense plus 15%. And then how many points is this giving? 10. All right, so it's plus 15%. And then the second one is just the, what is the next gen DPS right now for these costumes. Ice ability damage 30%, pretty sick. All in all, pretty sick, guys. I really like it. I want to take a look at this weapon. OB1, exploit weakness, all allies, duration 25 seconds, potency 20%. At OB6, 30%. At OB10, 30%. So 46 over 39, magic attack, double magic attack, and circle sigil boost. Great weapon, guys. Amazing weapon. For a non-limited weapon, like I could have totally seen them make something like this limited, but I'm glad to see that it's not limited, and I think this is going to be a great weapon for a ton of players in the game. Alright guys, well that is going to conclude my patch updates video. Once again, I would like to thank Square Enix for the cool stickers, the patches, and the little pencil bag, which I only have one pencil, so I'll have to find something interesting for that. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I'm super psyched on Yuffie, interested to check out, you know, more of the weapon in my To Pull or Not to Pull video. But until that happens, I will catch you guys on the next video, and hope you guys all have a wonderful night. If you do pull on the banner, I wish you guys the best of the luck. Take care, everyone. Peace.